Hi, I am Maria Jose Gonzalez and I'm going to talk about deafness, a word with no sound. How the ear works. The ear collects sound signals and sends them to your brain so it can process. The other ear is the part of the ear that collects sound. Middle ear collects the sound and turns them into vibration and sends them to the inner ear. It needs the ear drum to do so. The ear drum separates the outer ear from the middle ear and the ossicles, which include the malleus, which is attached to the eardrum and means hammer in Latin. The inner ear sounds come into the inner ear as vibration and enters the cochlea. When sound reaches the cochlea, the vibration causes the hair in the inside of your ear to move, creating nerve signals that the brain interprets as sound. Here I have a video that explains how the ear works. This animation has been produced.
This animation shows how our ears work. Click the navigation arrows below the animation screen to play, pause, rewind or fast forward the animation. Your ear consists of three parts: the outer ear, the middle ear and the inner ear. These all work together to pass sound through your ear and to your brain. The pinna acts like a funnel to collect the sound waves. These sound waves pass through your ear canal. Here we show the sound waves entering the ear.
Deafness, partial or complete loss of hearing. Hearing loss exists when there is a decrease of sensitivity to the sound normally heard. Hearing impairment or hard of hearing are usually restraining for people who are sensitive to sound in the speech frequencies. The realness of a hearing loss is classified according to the accumulation in volume above the usual level necessary before the listener can detect. Deafness is conveyed as a rate of impairment, state. In several cases of deafness, even the highest sound on the audiometer might not be detected. In complete deafness, no sound is heard. Even if you use an amplification or method, you will still be deaf. Types of hearing loss.
There are three kinds of hearing loss that a person can have. One is called neurosensory or sensory neural, sometimes called nerve hearing loss. Nerve hearing loss is probably a misnomer because it's rarely the nerve. It's almost always the little hairs inside the organ of hearing that aren't converting the mechanical energy into electrical energy. The most common cause of an inner ear or neurosensory hearing loss is an age-related and genetically determined hearing loss. As we get older, we all lose some hearing, and the degree of that hearing loss is very variable. There are individuals in their late 50s and early 60s who have a rather severe loss and need amplification in the form of a hearing aid, and there are others who live into their 80s and 90s and have remarkably good hearing.
Another condition of hearing involves the sense clarity of a sound rather than its magnitude. In humans, that aspect is usually measured by tests of speech apprehension. This test measures one's ability to understand speech, not to hardly detect sound. There are very rare types of hearing impairment which affect speech understanding.
The inner ear is a sensitive region, easily injured by high-intensity noise or by environmental factors like chemicals and viruses. Cellular damage in the ear can lead to permanent hearing loss, which for children can impact speech, language, and social development and increase the risk of developing learning disabilities. A growing body of research is showing that stem cells may help regenerate damaged cells and help restore hearing. Based on animal studies and some early clinical trials in humans, It appears that cord blood stem cells help alter the body's immune response to injuries, like cellular damage in the inner ear, induced by toxins or high-intensity noise.
There are different causes for hearing loss, like the age, noises, genetics, illness like measles may cause auditory nerve damage, meningitis may damage the auditory nerve or the cochlea, autoimmune disease, mumps, presbycusis is a progressive hearing impairment accompanying age, typically affecting sensitivity to higher frequencies. Genetics. Deafness can be inherited both dominant and recessive trait 6. If a family has a dominant gene for deafness, it will carry on across generations because it will reveal itself in the offspring. If a family had genetic hearing impairment caused by a recessive gene, the offspring will not always be deaf. Devices. There are a lot of things that can be taken to prevent hearing loss, but in some cases it is impossible to stop or prevent yourself from becoming deaf or hard of hearing. Technology advancements have been made to improve the hearing of the people who suffer from hearing impaired. There are many devices that can help the deaf hard of hearing, hear and communicate. The deaf communicate through sign language, which is using your hands, body, and facial expression to speak. You can also get cochlear implant. A cochlear implant is a surgical implant of an electronic device, putting a deeply deaf or several deaf hard of hearing person. Cochlear implants don't always work 100%. Hard of hearing people can use hearing aids to help them hear. Now you can see a cochlear implant. How a cochlear implant works.
In case of sound waves striking the ear, they pass through the canal to the eardrum. From there, the sound waves are mechanically transmitted to the inner ear and amplified. In the inner ear, you can find the cochlea. The cochlea consists of 3 different canals. The middle canal is the organ of hearing and consists of sensitive hair cells. The hair cells can be stimulated electrically and forward the signal to the nerves and then onto the brain. In most cases of deafness, the hearing nerve still remains functional, but the hair cells have been damaged or even lost. In a cochlear implant system, sound enters a microphone and travels to an external mini-computer called a sound processor. The sound is processed and converted into digital information. This digital information is sent over a transmitter antenna to the surgically implanted part of the system. The implant will turn the sound information into electrical signals that travel down to an electrode array inserted into the tiny inner ear or cochlea.
Deaf hard of hearing also use other devices to communicate, like telecommunication device for the deaf caption telephones. The deaf can read off the phone. Video conference can see who they are talking to and communicate through sign language and text message. The person reads and communicates back by typing response. If you are completely deaf, there is nothing you can do to prevent it. But if you are partial deaf or hard of hearing, you can get a cochlear implant which can help, but most deaf people get it when they are young because the process is easier. You can also wear hearing aids which can increase the amount of dB you can hear. And finally, we have a final video, and thank you for pay attention about this important class.
Hi, My name is Ben, and this is my friend Jerry. He's deaf. Do you understand what deaf means? Maybe you have some deaf people in your class. Well, why don't Jerry and I try and explain it to you today? Being deaf means that Jerry isn't able to hear. So when you hear the sounds of a car honking its horn, or birds tweeting in the early morning, Jerry cannot hear that. So if Jerry can't hear, how do we talk? We communicate through sign language. In Australia, it is called Auslan. It is a series of movements through your hands that mean different words. So when Jerry signs this, I know he means food. How do people become deaf? It happens for a lot of different reasons. Sometimes babies are born like that. Or sometimes people can become sick, and that can make them unable to hear.